welcome to Kickin It with Jake and Noah. And before everybody blasts the name, it's not like done. It was an on the spot, really cheesy name. I'm Noah Ep.1, and my co-host is Jake Liker, and we're not at home. We are both. We're like 5 hours difference right now. We're normally 2. I'm in Chicago. He's in Los Angeles. Now I'm in Colombia, where they actually care about the World Cup, and I'm in.
He's not in South Carolina.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yes.
South America, not South Carolina.
I'm in Medellin, Colombia, right now, and Jake is in Hawaii. So we'll start off with this. Jake, how is Hawaii?
It's fantastic, but this is probably like the worst time to go to Hawaii, because now instead of waking up at 9 a.m. every morning, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning to catch games. It's tough. I've been able to pull myself out of bed at 6:30. I haven't missed too many goals. It's been a fantastic World Cup. I'm glad to be on the ride. And by the way, if you have a suggestion for the name, send it to whatever social media network we create for it. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll let you know on our Facebook page if we make one. I was going to go with, hey, it's better than a scoreless draw with Jake and Noah. But we're not here to take shots at Iran and Nigeria. They clearly didn't do that to each other either. This is going to be a fun show, though. Let the ride begin.
Don't forget about Brazil, Mexico, too. Guillermo Ochoa.
No, but remember Ochoa was fantastic.
Ochoa was great.
Iran and Nigeria were just singing with... They were trying to film for a Shakira music video that entire time, I bet. They forgot to play soccer. Or football, whatever you want to call it.
So, we're going to start this off with what has been either the most shocking or our favorite moment to this point in the World Cup. And we are going to start, of course, with Jake. Jake, what has been your favorite moment?
Well, I've actually, so I think in the end, Rookies Roundup, the show I host, by the way, like that on Facebook. I have an Instagram, Jake_Liker, pretty cool. And follow me on Twitter at Jake Liker. Okay, got that out of the way. I've been keeping track of all the most shocking moments, so I might be doing a big roundup show on Rookies Roundup at the end of the World Cup. And I'm looking through here, and I think the most shocking game would have to be Costa Rica beating Italy. But the single moment, there's a lot. And then Brazil's own goal to start the World Cup against Croatia. That was pretty surprising, but I'm going to say that the most shocking moment of this World Cup was, and it's going to be a vivid image that's going to be implanted on our minds for the rest of World Cup history. And that would be Robin Van Persie flying through the air to head in the goal. That gave Netherlands the lead before the half, and that sparked...
You mean it tied it before that? It tied it.
Explosion of Spain. It is the biggest disaster for Spain since the Muslims moved in the 800s. I believe.
Just to clarify, it was to tie the game. Before the half, it was right after Xabi Alonso's penalty kick, which is Spain's best goal.
Tie the game.
Yes, it was to tie the game. And it was Spain's best goal of the tournament, Xabi Alonso's penalty. That's because it was their only goal of the tournament. You know what? I'll continue on with yours to say my most shocking moment, then I'll go into a little favorite moment, which I have many of. But I'll go with Chile beating Spain and knocking out the defending champion. By the way, that happened last time with Italy, too. And if Italy's out this year, that would be 2 years in a row they miss the knockout stage, which we will get into later. My favorite moment, well, I have a couple. I can either go with the Brazilian team and the fans singing the national anthem even after it ended in the first game. But then again, the Colombians did the exact same thing. Yeah, so did the Colombians do the exact same thing. Of course, we love it. I can go with my favorite moment. obviously, is Colombia qualifying for the second round for the first time since 1990. 24 years wait, done. And I was obviously in Medellin during this, and it was pretty crazy, and it was pretty fun. Or I could probably go with another one of... I think this is one of my most emotional moments, was when Joffrey Serre of Ivory Coast, I have no words to explain it. His father died 2 hours before the game between Colombia and Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And him in tears during the national anthem.
And then that didn't happen.
It didn't?
A fake Twitter account spread that rumor. His dad is still alive and well.
Oh, well, I mean, can we at least...
I believe so. I'll look this up. But I think that was a complete hoax. So, that's kind of awkward.
The Guardian still says it. No, apparently he died in 2004.
Let's see.
His father died in 2004. That's what Sarah D.A. said on Instagram.
Okay. Oh, so maybe it was like a 10-year anniversary thing.
Okay, but let's go to the next thing, which is also emotional. So everybody knows Yaya Toure and Kolo Toure. Their brother died shortly after the game. Ibrahim Toure. That was on ESPN. Played soccer, though he never made it really big time like Yaya or Kolo. But we would like to say to Yaya, you got stopped by Carlos Sanchez of Colombia, and you got stopped by Japan. You ain't going nowhere. Yep, that's it. So,
all right, listen. This cannot turn into the Colombian show. As a matter of fact, I believe most of our viewers right now are in America. So everybody, take out your pet bald eagles and start singing your national anthem as loud as you can. I think that this was a patriotic moment. I had the opportunity to go to the Kings rivalry, but our flight to Hawaii was canceled. And I've never been so happy for a canceled flight, because I got to go to the Kings victory parade. It ran a little long, though. So I had to pull up a feed on my phone, and it turns out the only one that was available was Univision Deportes. So I'm watching the game live on my phone, and 30 seconds in, Dempsey scores. That was a shock. We wouldn't believe it. And then when Grancy, a sub, the corner kick to John Brooks, a sub, heads it in, game winner, 2-1. That was crazy.
You sound shocked that it was a
other
sub.
Stuff to point out, though.
You sound shocked that it was a sub.
Yeah. The first sub ever scored, and look, they outplayed us that game. I would have been thrilled with 1 point, let alone 3.
Oh, I think you guys outplayed them. I'm in disagreement. I hated
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later when we talk about Group G.
Yeah.
But there's others that include the Russian goalie Igor Akinfeev.
Oh, I know his name. I have him on my FIFA Ultimate Team.
Botches his save, the ball goes through his hands, and South Korea's from Russia would later.
Akinfeev. It's Akinfeev.
Theodore.
It's Akinfeev.
Akinfeev,
yeah.
And of course, how about Alex Song's karate chop earning a red card? It sparks camera implosion and a 4-0 loss to Croatia, eliminating them from the tournament. And toward the end of the game, teammates Noah Ep.1, hashtag Coys, later would headbutt his teammate Benjamin Mukonga. So a lot of shocks so far.
Yeah. So let's get into it so we can get to what everybody's waiting for as quickly as possible, Group G. And we'll start with Group A. Group A has been, I think, not what we expected. Can you agree with me? I mean, I think it's kind of, but at the same time, not really. Brazil is tied at the top with Mexico, only above them with goal differential. They are only 1 goal better. Then we have Croatia, 3 points, and Cameroon, of course, just 0. What are your thoughts about Group A? Jake?
We should have known this tournament. By the way, if we like interrupt each other, our feed again, it's kind of tough to talk from Hawaii to Colombia. Technology can only do so much, so if we talk over each other, it might be because of a delayed signal. I just gotta say though, we should have seen this coming. This is gonna be a crazy tournament. When the first goal of the tournament was a Brazilian own goal, it was ridiculous. But what are my thoughts about Group A? Look, I think the breakout player in this group has been Memo Ochoa. What Mexico has done, what their manager has done, it's been very impressive. Croatia is coming back, and they are going for blood. They want revenge after they believe they got robbed in that first match, and I can't say I blame them. It was really quite an interesting group. I think Brazil's going to be able to move on. They got very lucky that Alex Song got another red card in the World Cup. They'll be able to handle Cameroon. It's really down to whether it's going to be Mexico or Croatia. And Mexico is on thin ice right now after their fans apparently have been making anti-gay chants at opposing goalies. And then their manager said it's not a big deal. It could be worse. So again, Croatia might just again gain some more neutral fans. A lot of people hopped on their bandwagon after they were robbed in that first game, and now here. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But the way Memo Ochoa has been playing, it'll be tough to get a goal against Mexico.
Yeah. Quickly, one word. Your pick: Croatia or Mexico. What's the result?
Mexico will win with the final score of 2-0.
Okay. I'm going to start, and then I'll do my prediction. First of all, I don't really know what to say. Ochoa was big, but Brazil, at this point, I'm not sure. Even though they are the best team in this group, I'm not sure they deserve to move on how they've played. With the talent they have, with the opportunities they had against Mexico, to not convert is shameful. Mexico, though, I mean, you got to give credit to Ochoa. And a lot of people are saying Mexico played very well. But when you give up 4 clear chances, you're doing something wrong. When you stop all 4, that's all to Ochoa, you're doing something right. But then let's look at Croatia. Croatia, first game without Mario Mandzukic. Brazil was lucky. Mario Mandzukic plays that game. I'm pretty sure Croatia may have... I think Croatia would have won that game. Mario Mandzukic comes back, scores, of course, because he's Mario Mandzukic. Cameroon has combusted. They are officially France of this year, except France last time had, I think, a little bit more hope than this Cameroon team did. Funny, they're both in Group A, and they're both going to finish in last. But overall, it's been a really interesting group to watch. And up until the Croatia game, most games were actually relative. Besides, every game that Croatia's been involved in has scored like 4 goals. It's been pretty fun to watch Croatia's game.
By every, we mean 2.
The 2, yeah. But the other games have been really low scoring. The other 2 games, 0-0, 1-0. Brazil, it's just whatever game Mexico is in will be low scoring. However, Croatia's got Mandzukic back. Modric is playing at the top of his game. Rakitic is at the top of his game. And unfortunately, Ochoa can only do so much because eventually something's going to get by him. And I don't know if Mexico can handle Croatia's offense. I'm going to go the opposite scoreline. I'm going to go 2-1 Croatia. And unfortunately, Mexico will miss out. But I don't think it'll be an amazing game. I think this will be one of the more intense games that this tournament has had. Okay, we will talk now briefly about Brazil. What do you think has been the problem with Brazil? Because they seem to have been struggling. And I guess you can say some of it's Ochoa, but even in the Croatia game, they didn't look convincing.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this Brazilian squad, and it's dumbfounding for me. I really... There are not many excuses to make for the way this team has performed. We've seen some guys underperform, you could say. A lot has seemed to come together to create a perfect storm. But what we're really looking at, I think the only explanation here is that players are succumbing to the pressure and the high expectations, and they're underperforming as a result of it.
I'm going to go more tactical point of view. So, their coach, Filipao, or Scolari, whatever you want to call him. Oh God, I just got something stuck in my throat.
Okay, well, time to... They have a cough button, There's that nice little handy-dandy mute button.
They have a cough button? No, it's a mute button, not a cough button. But
No, but in actual broadcast, there's a cough button. You hold down the button if you need to cough or something, and it doesn't come over. True story.
That's so cool. That's so cool. That makes me want to be a professional broadcaster even more so I can press call buttons. Okay, but back to being serious. Filipao, he plays a defensive system, and he always has. Brazil has never been a defensive team. And it's contradictory because he has Dani Alves and Marcelo, both who are offensive players, right back, left back. So if you're going to play defense, you probably shouldn't have defensive liabilities at your two outside back positions. That's first of all, that's my first tip to him. Second of all, he's not utilizing his players well because he wants them to play a more defensive game. And when it's come to attacking, Fred has been just completely a bust. Hulk hasn't done anything because he was injured in the second game. Ramirez didn't do much, and this team just can't capitalize on opportunities. It's a mixture of everything. Pressure, of course, as well plays into it. Brazil's they've caught themselves at the wrong time. Let's hope it's one of those scenarios where they're working out the kinks early on, but as long as they're playing a defensive game, it won't work. Brazil is more of a, you look at the players, Pelé, Garrincha, Zico. They're not defensive-minded players. Their best players have always been offensive. So I just think Scolari's got to go back to the roots of Brazil.
It's a different Brazil, but keep in mind, Brazil, their pedigree brings 5 FIFA World Cup championships.
And it's all been offensive, though.
But if it ain't broke, they'll fix it.
Exactly. Okay, we move on now to Group B. Group B, look, we can talk about Spain all we want, but it's not even worth it anymore. The implosion, there's no reason that they imploded. They just, I don't know. It's been very complicated to say exactly why they imploded like this. Maybe they got demoralized. Maybe they just weren't the same team anymore. Maybe Vicente Del Bosque didn't coach them right. I don't know. But let's talk about what we really want to talk about. Chile and Netherlands. They, of course, will be playing. They're both tied at 6 points. They'll be playing for the first spot. Now, Netherlands, both of them were challenged by Australia. Australia challenged both of them. And that's actually why I'm picking Australia to beat Spain. Because I think Spain has just been really bad. I think Australia was slightly underrated. I think they've given both of those teams challenges, mainly because of their physicality and their size. And, of course, Tim Cahill scoring amazing goals. But, look, I think both of them were challenged by Australia. Both of them showed up big time against Spain. So the question is, what will happen in the final game? Who will come out on top? Why? How? When? Where? And what? Jake. Oh, no, Jake is not going to answer that question first. I will answer that question first. Jake needs research time. Okay, so let's start with this. I think Netherlands has proved that they are one of the best teams, and their biggest issue was their defense. And their defense has been the best part of this team. I mean, they have had some mishaps, but they have so much talent. Hopefully, do you know what happened to Martins Indy? Like, what was his injury? Because he came off and it did not look good.
I don't know. Can you get an injury for misspelling your last name?
What?
Wait, it's Indy?
Martins.
That thing's not an L. It's not an L?
No.
You just blew my mind. For some reason, it always looked like on that jersey that it was spelled INDL.
Nope.
Nope. Learn something new every day. That's the more you know moment. The more you know. Brought to you by
So he has resumed training. So it seems like he's okay. But Daley Blind has been a revelation. Or blind as we would call, as me and Jake called him during our FIFA simulations. De Vrij has been amazing. Ron Vlaar has been terrific. Overall, it's been beautiful to watch them play. In Chile, Alexis Sanchez has been amazing. And so has Omar Bravo. Actually, Omar Bravo... Is his name Omar Bravo? No, it's not Omar Bravo. No, that guy plays in the MLS.
I thought it was Claudio Bravo.
Claudio Bravo, thank you.
Claudio Bravo.
Yeah, are you sure it's Claudio Bravo? Yes, it is. He's going to be the new goalie at Barcelona, probably. So, obviously, he's impressed somebody. He may not start, though. They still have Ter Stegen. But
we'll see what happens.
But Jake,
let me just say something here.
Yes.
I think right now the main story has been there have been 2 top stories. Number 1, Spain's implosion. 2, Netherlands domination. We are not hearing enough about Chile at all, and I don't think that they've gotten enough credit, to be honest. Noah and I seem to have this big argument about Chile coming in, and we were really on similar sides. We both said that they would advance and then lose in the quarterfinal, but yet we still had a massive disagreement about how good they really were. The whole argument was, would they have a chance against Brazil? I believe they did. Noah believed
I believe they have a chance. I just don't think they will win. I don't think
was more key.
I think you thought your chance was a lot higher. I thought their chance was a lot lower. Oh my god, we're confusing everybody right now. I'm pretty sure we're confusing everybody.
Key, Alexis Sanchez or Arturo Vidal. It's not important whether or not I said Sanchez and you said Vidal, and there's a lot of time left, so we'll see. But I think that what Chile has done, what Sampaoli has done with this team, they are an exciting team, they're a fast-paced team, and they are a dangerous team to whoever they face. And if Brazil wants to play defensive against this Chilean team, then look out, because you are going to have a skillful, talented bullet train headed right down the throats of your center back, wearing number 7 jersey.
Well, the nice thing is their center back is debated with the best in the world, and that's Thiago Silva, and their other one is not too shabby himself, David Luiz.
Well, this team is not too shabby, but they haven't played like it. They've played pretty shabby. Shabby Alonso.
Shabby. That's a good one. I mean, they haven't played well. That's for sure. So
I think that it's time to predict Chile or Netherlands.
Can we just say though, just to give Scolari some credit, he did win the 2002 World Cup title with Brazil. Just to say it, just we make sure we're not being unfair. What?
It's interesting going with a defensive tactic.
Well, that's how he's always played. That's always coached.
I think that Nike has paid him as part of their Risk Everything campaign to risk everything by playing defensive.
He's risking everything by risking absolutely nothing. That's the new slogan. Risk everything by risking nothing.
That's exactly what Brazil seems to be doing right now, and it's not working. Somewhere, the headquarters
of
Adidas, everyone is cackling.
You know that weird guy with the weird hair in the Nike commercial who invented the clones? That's Scolari. He's risking nothing, but they're advertising for him in the commercials. Oh my god. Okay, but prediction. And of course, we spent a lot of time, so just one word, one quick sentence. Who wins? Why? Or who ties?
One word. One quick sentence. Here's the thing. Okay. Chile, exciting team. They are the definition of risk everything. What they're going to do is they're going to take out their wide defensive backs and they're going to push them up the field. And that creates defensive gaps. Australia had many chances to score against Chile and didn't. Chile's got to be able to tighten that up. Netherlands is the perfect team to take advantage of that. So while I think that Chile might be able to perform better in this tournament than the Netherlands, I think that the Dutch will take a 3-1 victory.
I'm going to go opposite. I don't think Netherlands is actually... I don't think they've had to play up to their top level yet. I don't think Chile really has had to either, though they did. I think they had to work a little harder in that Spain game. However, in the end, I think we battle to a draw because, look, it's the final game. Both teams are... I think obviously players are going to start looking forward. Even though they say, I'm looking only at this game. They're looking a little bit ahead. And in the end, I think that they end up tying in a 4-goal, 2-2 draw. So you move on.
I thought you were going to say 4-4. Wow.
A 4-goal, yeah.
That's quite impressive.
Group C, really quickly. Look, we can already say Colombia, it's unlikely they don't go through first. They have a 4-goal differential. The next best
I thought
is...
Colombia
going through I don't know if they're in first. They have a 4-goal differential lead, so barring a massacre from Ivory Coast and Colombia losing, it's unlikely, and considering Ivory Coast is going up against a defensive team, massacre's probably not going to happen, but we never know. However, let's say Colombia ties the game, which they should. They should at least tie the game against Japan, which, considering they seem to be the best team in the group, and they get first. Who comes out in second?
I think Ivory Coast comes out in second. simply because Japan is all about discipline.
Well, Japan would be playing
risk
Colombia, so they would be done if they tie.
Right. Okay. You've got Greece, who I'm sorry. Look, give credit to the Greece team, but they're a defensive-minded team, and if you are a neutral fan trying to get into the game, if you want something entertaining to do, you should probably go watch a cricket match before you watch Greece play a soccer game.
Oh yeah, that.
No offense to Greece,
Unless they're playing Colombia.
It's painful to watch them play.
Unless they're playing Colombia. Actually, against Colombia it was fun because they went off the post.
Like if you want to watch, here's our first soccer tip from Jake and Noah here on Kickin It or whatever we're gonna end up calling it. Number one, if you watch Greece play a soccer game, make sure you're watching it on Univision or a Spanish broadcast channel because they are the only people that can make them exciting.
Here's my tip. Don't watch Greece, and if you are, you're doing something wrong. Unless they're playing Colombia. Which, if they're playing Colombia, Colombia scores 3 goals, they go off the post. It's entertaining, I guess. Don't watch them against Japan, though. I stopped watching that game midway through.
I'll see. I'm sure Colombia is going to go through Colombia goes through number 1.
So you're saying
Ivory Coast is able to defeat Greece.
Yeah.
2-0. By the way, what a fantastic goal from Ravina. Like, not to take away from the great performance from Colombia, but
that was fantastic. Split between 2 defenders and scored. Here's the problem. Greece, there is one way to stop Ivory Coast, and Colombia did it beautifully. If Ronaldo is like swole, this guy is. It's kind of scary. He shut down Yaya Toure, and that's how you stop him. Greece is defensive minded, and they seem to have finally gotten that going in the game against Japan. However, in the end, I think the game ends up battling to a 1-1 draw. I think we're going to get another draw, and that's enough to see Ivory Coast through. Ivory Coast moves on after a tough game. I think they're also going to be a little bit mindful because if they get through this round, they'll probably go up against Costa Rica. We're still not 100% sure, but it looks like Costa Rica and Colombia will be going through in first place. I think Ivory Coast moves on, so we're in agreement with that. Group D. Costa Rica has been phenomenal. That's without a doubt. England has looked. They've looked good, but they've never been good enough. Again, against Italy, they looked great. They look great.
England. What happened?
Here's the thing: they're in a transition stage. Also, they're basically Liverpool, which was fun to watch it because they had on the field against Uruguay, Sebastian Coates and Luis Suarez both played for Liverpool. So you put that with Gerrard, and with Glenn Johnson, and with Jordan Henderson, and with Daniel Sturridge, and with Ricky Lambert, and with Raheem Sterling. That's 8 Liverpool players that came on at some point during that game. 8. That's so many. That was Liverpool versus Liverpool. I'm sure Liverpool fans feel conflicted when they watch Suarez score on England. Look, England, though, has never really shown up in the big tournaments over the past few times. And look, Uruguay looked good in that game. Suarez came back and played well. The question is, can he do it against Italy? And I think we spent a lot of time talking, so we got to go over this briefly. And unfortunately, Costa Rica will be left out. I think that Costa Rica, I think they've proven themselves enough now that if we really need to talk about them, I don't think we have to. People who think that we still have to, look, Costa Rica's proven themselves. They're not a fluke.
I'm going to be quick.
You go. You talk about Costa Rica.
I'm going to be quick.
Yes.
Beginning, we have to pick a breakout player, and I picked the person that was on the page in front of me and decided to put all my chips on him. Keylor Navas, the goalie of Costa Rica. Thank you. Making me sound really smart when it comes to soccer. Very impressive with what he's done in goal. Guys like Campbell have come up. Luis has come up to play. That team is playing it's unbelievable. I mean, I thought they would defeat Uruguay. Did not see that coming against Italy this morning. England, I'm so sorry, but you know what? We couldn't find a way to install penalty kicks in the group stage. So this time you'll have to find a way to lose without losing in penalties. So sorry about that you couldn't go out your traditional way. Then it comes down to Italy and Uruguay. Very simply, I think Italy's going to go through. I think Italy's still the better team. I think that Uruguay played against England. It was a very back-and-forth game. I think Italy is going to do a better job of controlling the pace. Uruguay won against England because they were able to control the pace, slow things down, no tempo whatsoever. Italy is going to use that against them, and Italy is going to defeat Uruguay. And the final score of 2-2-1.
I'm going to start with this. If you're going to talk about your breakout player, I forgot about mine. Serge Aurier has been, basically every single broadcaster has just been, amazed by this right back of Ivory Coast who's insanely fast. And he's really good. So, yeah, we'll get into my other guy later who has been even better. Look, England's out. They're not going to make it through. Sorry, England. Costa Rica probably first. So it comes down to these two. Now, here's what's either going to happen. Italy's in awful shape. It was evident in the game in Costa Rica, and then after the game, it just let's just say this: Italy looked older than they actually were during the game. Uruguay, what they have to do is they have to play similarly to Costa Rica. Tire this team out, make Italy have to work, because once they get tired, bad, really, really bad. So in the end, I think that if Uruguay can play that style, they will go through. However, Italy, they need to get Balotelli involved. When Balotelli plays well, Italy plays well. I think they're going a lot with Balotelli because Balotelli is their best forward. I don't think Condoreva or Immobile can really produce what Balotelli produces. So I think they're going to go into the game hard fought, and I think 2-2 draw. And with that, Italy, I have a lot of draws here. Italy goes through as...
Yeah,
Italy goes through on goal differential. Cool. So we're on to the bottom half. And Switzerland looks to be the second best. It's been pretty straightforward, surprisingly. Even though Ecuador is currently actually ahead of Switzerland, Ecuador has France next, Switzerland has Honduras. He's been amazing. He's been amazing. I don't know how my other guy's been, Alexander Cochran. I haven't watched Russia yet. That was like...
You destroyed the French like you were going to war with them, which isn't saying much.
I've never liked the French. I've never liked the French.
We know how French are when it comes to war. But still, you really doubted that. You really doubted that team. I'm only rooting for France because Hugo Lloris is their goalie.
I'm only rooting for them because I actually like them.
Switzerland and Ecuador is interesting. But an interesting fact, hold on. Before your rule, Honduras out with Switzerland. Before you do that, keep in mind, 2010, same position. Switzerland looking to go through. They're going to play against Minos, Honduras. It should be fine, right? Honduras forces a scoreless draw, and Switzerland does not go through.
Well, here's the thing. Ecuador would also need to be... Ecuador, if they lose to France, needs Switzerland to lose too. And if they tie, they need... Oh. Jake seems to... Jake? Jake seems to have disappeared. Oh, he is back. That was weird. Okay. Look, I think it's very unlikely. Even if Switzerland ties, Ecuador needs tied. I don't think that's going to happen. I think France is too good at this point. I think France is clicking. Matuidi that's such a great name, has been great. Johan Cabaye has been phenomenal. Luis Valbuena has been one of the catalysts of this offense. Nobody can forget about Paul Pogba. And Karim Benzema now has 3 goals. And Benzema, I think...
He should have 4.
I don't know.
He should have.
Yeah.
Not have 4.
Look, he really underperformed at Real Madrid. There's no question about that. And he's gone, probably. He won't be there when the year starting. Because he hasn't performed for them. But on the country stage, this guy is coming up big. So, props to him. I have France, followed by Switzerland going through at this point. Jake, who do you have going through?
Well, I guess the French sort of have to finish first. Not even they can screw this one up. So France won. And you know what? I think it was proven that Ecuador is great when they're playing at home. Do you know that they hadn't won away from home until today, since 2009? This is true. And that really came back to hurt them. They clearly were an overrated squad. Good effort from Honduras today. Switzerland go through at number 2. Don't sleep on them. That team had flashes of brilliant potential today.
Okay. Now we move on to another group that I think is really just unentertaining. And I'm trying to move through this as quickly as possible so we can get to the group that everybody wants to talk about, Group G, because it's the U.S. group. And Iran beat Nigeria. That was the most boring group I have ever watched in my life. Okay, Nigeria, Bosnia. So I'm listening to it on the internet because it's on DirecTV Sports and we were at the hotel and we really didn't want to go out to watch it. First of all, the broadcaster was horrifyingly bad. I mean, he was, and then finally he said something good. It was basically saying that this game has been like a turtle, which was true. It was just so boring to watch. I understand why some people didn't pick Colombia, but we were clearly the better side in the end. And I think we really showed a lot of composure. Jake was excited about a substitute. Quintero, one of our substitutes, came up big, scoring a composed goal. The guy's 21 years old. I almost said 21 because being in Colombia, I'm getting used to speaking Spanish consistently. So it's hard to go back to English. Showed great composure, finished it left foot, and he really made the difference. I'm calling Jake, and now there's making it. Oh, Jake Liker is joining. We'll wait till Jake can... Oh, can you hear me? Can you talk? Nope. Can't hear you, Jake. Are you muted, Jake? Jake may or may not be muted. Now we can hear you. I think. No, never mind. Here, I'm going to hang up and call you back. Technical difficulty. You know what? I think we deserve a break. And here comes the beeps. Or no, maybe not. Look, I think we deserve a break because we are like 5 hours apart. And I still don't think I can hear you because I don't think you ever left the chat. Oh, now I can hear you, I think.
The man...
Oh, Jake, get off. Oh, no, Jake was on his computer and on his phone at Hangout at the same time.
All right, let's keep this show rolling. Here's what I'm gonna say. Iran, surprisingly good defensive team. I don't think it was a fluke that they held Nigeria to a clean sheet. I still think Argentina is going to handle them quite easily. But you know what? Look out. This might be a very low-scoring game. And watch out for Iran's star player. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. I'll just say his nickname is Gucci. His full name is something like Reza Gucci or something like that.
Gucci.
Gucci.
What's Gucci?
Gucci is his star player, and he is a luxury player indeed. I don't know how Bosnia-Herzegovina is in last place, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But that's not how it's going to end. Can we just get this? It's obvious. Good for Lionel Messi to break through against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Good showing for Bosnia-Herzegovina until they score a goal against Argentina. It's really been obvious from the start how this is going to fall out. Argentina 1, Bosnia-Herzegovina 2. And if either Iran or Nigeria makes an upset and moves on to the next round, I think Iran.
Okay, so let me start with this. First of all, Messi played very badly for most of the Bosnia game. That's his standards, of course. And he scores the goal, and then suddenly he's the best player in the world. So let's just calm down on that. Just for a minute. Great goal. Congratulations. But let's calm down. He didn't play well. Neither did Argentina. You won. Unless it's the group stage or any time up until the finals. Okay. We move on now to the next group. And the group everybody wants to talk about. Group G. The USA, they have life. After a stunning 2-1 victory over Ghana. And Portugal, they may be pulling a Spain here. Remember when the Iberian Peninsula was good at soccer? They lost Pepe for next game. Contrao is out for the World Cup. Ronaldo's clearly still injured. They don't seem to have any goal scoring. And they just look weak everywhere. So USA has a great shot here. They get a tie and they're basically through. Because unless they lose by 4 to Germany, which considering Klinsmann used to coach Germany, he knows exactly what Germany does. I really don't see that happening. They have a terrific shot, so the question is, Jake, what will happen against Portugal?
You know what? It's difficult for me. Because, look, I took over this year and said that Portugal, the day before, I said that something straight. Despite how decimated Portugal is on defense, they can still score goals. They're still,
can they though? Because
even with these losses, I believe a more talented team.
Can they score goals?
More talented team than the United States. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Klinsmann doesn't sleep.
Portugal, but here we are. This is what the World Cup does.
Everything that Klinsmann does is calculated, and he has no feelings. But it doesn't matter because he's an amazing coach.
Klinsmann does. The players...
Actually, Klinsmann does have feelings. Klinsmann has feelings.
See what happens. I still think at the end of the day, we're going to see a draw. We're going to see a draw 1-1. Because guess what? The USA has its health issues of its own. They have a big new player of its own that's going to be injured.
Josie. Yeah. So.
Josie.
Yeah. So if they tie, what do you think the result against Germany is, which would be basically the deciding result?
Well, it depends, of course, what happens to Germany and Ghana. And I think it'll be interesting because Ghana's a fast team, and Ghana could.
Okay, if Germany
But let's just say Germany wins by 1.
No, they'll win by more. They already played them.
So that would put Germany.
Jake, before you go on, they played them last World Cup in the group stage, and that was when Ghana was better and they were younger. This Germany team is better.
Yeah.
I disagree with you,
Spain won the whole thing. Last World Cup, Spain won the whole thing. I mean.
decided to, I guess you could say, shut down the middle completely and allow Ghana to have to work through the sides. And here are the beeps again, because once again, of course, I'm in Colombia and he is in Hawaii, so there's going to be some technical difficulties, at least for the next week or so. So, I was just saying how I think Klinsmann in the end enough to actually see them through to the next stage, which I picked Portugal to make it to the quarterfinals. So, it hurts my bracket, but I think the U.S. has what it takes. I think Klinsmann is one of the smarter coaches in the World Cup. And do you have anything else to say about Group G? Jake?
Hello?
Yes, Jake?
So where do we leave off? Yeah, hi, I'm here. Alright, we're going to give Ghana the benefit of the doubt and say that Ghana loses by 1 and the USA goes to draw. So that would give USA 4, gives Germany 6, Ghana still at 0, and Portugal with 1. So that still leaves the USA in good enough shape to move on. I think that they'll play a solid game against Germany. I think Klinsmann knows what he's doing, but we're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
I would be thrilled again to steal a point there. I don't think we'd win, but in the end, I don't think it'll matter. Even if Portugal does go on to beat Ghana, which again I don't think would happen. I think Ghana's going to come away with at least a point in this World Cup, and for that reason, USA is going to move on. Number 2 in Group G. Can't believe it, but here we are.
Yeah, I here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Portugal came out on top in second place, and I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. came out now at this point. It's almost like a toss-up at this point. And unfortunately for all soccer fans... I'm sorry, Ghana's not... I don't think... Look, Kevin Prince Boateng...
Ghana played better than the USA in that game.
I disagree. And my dad disagrees also. I think they had more possession, and I think they looked better. I don't think they did play better, though. I think they were out of their comfort zone, and Klinsmann forced them out of their comfort zone. He made them use the wings. He didn't allow Asamoah Gyan to exploit them in the middle, didn't allow them to break through. He played tactically smart. It's the same way Colombia played against Greece. Greece had the ball a good 60% of the game, while Colombia had 40%. But Colombia played better. They gave Greece the ball, and Greece doesn't know what to do with the ball. They made them make the mistakes, which they did. They pushed forward because they had the ball and exploited more space in the back. And what USA did was similar, and I think if Altidore had not been injured, the game would have gone very differently. I think that they played better. I think Aaron Johansson, of course, is not at the same level. And I think that even with Aaron Johansson, they looked the better side, and I think they converted on their opportunities much better than Ghana did, which is also a sign of playing better. And of course, I just overall think USA played a better game. And I think Ghana looked better, but they didn't tactically win. They played poorly tactically. They played right into what the USA wanted them to do. And sure, they got a goal. But I just don't think that they played how they wanted to. And I think it was evident by their discomfort when they had to cross it in. They obviously hadn't practiced headers. But you know what? At this point, we both have the USA going through.
Go now.
What?
Well, let's just move on.
Yeah, we both have the USA going through at this point. Though I don't think either of us would be surprised. And I think part of this is just a little bit of optimism also picking the USA for both of us. Though we both do believe that they have the shot. I think it's also a slight bit of optimism, though. If Portugal wins, I'm pretty sure neither of us, or basically anybody, will be shocked.
I truly do not think we have a chance, by the way. This is me being over-American. I kind of scoffed at anyone who said that America would go through.
I did too.
But, again.
But now we have a shot. Be it small, we have more of a shot now. Okay, we move on now to the last group. Belgium was really poor. I know you love Jean Vertonghen because he plays on Tottenham, but he was bad, to say the least. Russia showed the same against South Korea. I still think Belgium goes through impressing performances. Let's hope. Hopefully they do better because they can be an entertaining team at their best. But I think they do go through in first, and I think Russia follows suit barely, but I think they do. I think that South Korea and Algeria both actually have a shot of making it through, but in the end, I think Russia just prevails. It's honestly, whoever comes out in second in that group doesn't stand a chance against Germany. Jake, what do you think is going to happen?
This group has been incredibly underwhelming. By the way, fun fact, France has loaned more players. There are more French players on Algeria than any other internationality on any other squad. There are 16 French players on Algeria. The next is 4 French players on Cameroon. So not exactly a domestic team. Nonetheless, I think at this point, I think everyone's been so underwhelming that we have no choice but to stick to what we know. What we know is that Belgium seems to be the best team in this group, and Russia is the second best team. So Belgium 1, Russia 2. We'll see what happens. Algeria could make some noise. South Korea was able to get that draw. They got lucky with the goal, but still, who knows?
Okay, so we are going to start off now by talking about who leads in certain categories. Let's start with Karim Benzema, who currently look, all of those players have been great. So
I thought that if it starts with a J, though, it's a name.
it's pronounced James. James Rodriguez. I thought it was James too. It's not. Now, when it comes to the team stats, the best goal-scoring team, the Netherlands. 8 open play goals, 0 set-piece goals. Best passer is still Spain. 411 short passes, 648 medium, and 86 long passes. But that's expected when you're just passing it around in the middle and going absolutely nowhere, like Spain was. The best attacking team has been France. 42 attempts, 7 goals scored, 9 shots blocked, 10 shots saved, and 16 shots off target. The tournament average, by the way, is 20.4. And this is my source of pride. The best defending team to this point has been Colombia with 49 tackles, 9 blocks, and 8 saves. And just so you want another Castrol top 10, we'll go 1st through 5. Mueller, Merdad, Cameron, David Luiz, and Jagielka. So we're going to go now into the Final Four. And Jake, who are your Final Four? Jake, your Final Four?
Who are my Final Four? I'm going to try and visualize the bracket in my head, because clearly I think some of my previous picks aren't exact. Clearly some of my previous picks aren't going to work out, so I'm going to have to remodel. I'm still going to pick Germany in we'll call it the lower left quadrant. Germany in the lower left. In the lower right, I think I'm going to have to go back to putting Argentina. In the upper left, I still love what Chile is doing. And if Brazil keeps playing the way they, I think Chile can beat them. So, you know what? We'll put. And in the upper right, we have Italy. I still think that Italy can pull something off here.
Well, Italy, are you saying Italy's going to come in first over Costa Rica? Wait, no, wait. Jake, that means you're saying Italy's going to pass Costa Rica.
Oh, that's right.
That means they're going to have to score, that means they're going to have to win 2-0, and Costa Rica's going to have to lose 2-0.
No, okay. Never mind that.
So you have the Netherlands. You go Costa.
Netherlands by default, just because they've been playing the best at this point. So I guess we'll have it, and I'll change. I'll still think that Chile would be able to get past Italy. So Germany over Chile. Then we would have Argentina. Oh no, I guess we'd have Argentina over the Netherlands, and I didn't want to pick the Germans, but Germany-Argentina matchup. So stick with the original position. Brazil will beat Chile. Brazil will beat Germany. Brazil will beat Argentina. Brazil will win the World Cup. I don't like to change my champion, and I'm not going to start doing that now.
Yeah, but it didn't work for you. Not at all. So, it worked for me, the Spurs. Let's start with this.
But I've changed my mind before, and it never works.
Yeah. Okay. That's weird. It's like you don't change your mind, and it doesn't work, and then you decide to change your mind, and it doesn't work. It's tough. Look, let's start with this. I think Brazil will beat Chile. Now Colombia goes through over Italy because I don't think Italy is... Honestly, Italy just hasn't shown me anything at this point. They showed me something, and then they just went back and didn't... They just showed that they were exactly what I thought they were. Slow, old, and not ready to play in a really warm climate. Colombia-Brazil is an interesting matchup. They tied once before. Brazil has been underwhelming, and I think Colombia still has a very good shot of winning that game if Brazil plays the way they do. But I think Brazil, you know what? I think they'll work out the kinks. If they keep playing this way, Brazil probably won't even end up in that matchup. It'll probably be Chile-Colombia, and Colombia has already proven multiple times they're better than Chile. So I would have to go with Brazil from that side.
But Chile's in the right spot. I don't.
Chile's very good. Chile's been very good, but then of course they also had the game against Australia, in which they were not good. They were not great. They were good. Okay, they were okay. So I think the Netherlands game will really show us, I think, how good Chile is, and how good Netherlands are. Both of them. I think that'll really prove
how good Netherlands is.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I think I had the lag in our thing.
Again, it's fine, but we actually did things at the same time.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. We both just said the lag at the same time because of the fact that it lagged from you to me. Huh. Okay, so Brazil out of the upper left. Lower left, Germany. Not much for me, though. I think France may be able to put up a fight, but I still think France is going to go out. You know what? I'll stick with my upset pick. I'll go with Bosnia still over France, even though it seems even more and more unlikely at this point. But Bosnia is capable of scoring goals. Germany and Brazil right now. Argentina out of the lower right. There's no way they're not making it out at this point. The lower right has been... How it's going to end up is just going to be bad, to be frank with you.
The U.S. could be in the lower right, though.
Yeah, but you know... They're not...
America.
Okay. Argentina. Upper right now, at this point, would be It would be Netherlands. It would be Netherlands. I think Netherlands plays Ivory Coast after Ivory Coast knocks off Costa Rica. And because Costa Rica is great, but I don't think they've played the same level of physicality that Ivory Coast presents. Ivory Coast is scary to play against. Playing against them with Colombia, they're going to hit you many times. And it's going to be kind of intimidating. But I think Ivory Coast comes out on top. By the way, this will be the first time ever that Ivory Coast has made it out of the group stage, just to keep that in mind. Netherlands, Argentina. Netherlands is very good offensively, so is Argentina. High scoring game. 3-2, Argentina moves on. Germany, Brazil. Germany's been the best team. And I was originally going with Brazil, but I'm going to go with Germany to beat Brazil. No. You know, when I've stuck
out here. It was a lot of people are hopping on the Germany bandwagon. Right now, let's keep something.
I picked them before. I picked them at the beginning of the thing, and I said, you know what? No European team has ever won in South America, so I'm going with Brazil.
No, we both said Germany was going to go in the semifinal. Here's what.
No, I said this way before. I picked Brazil to win it all, but this is way before I actually made my final prediction. Originally, I was going with Germany. You can actually go back to one of my shows, Blake and Noah, where I said no, it's going to be Germany.
Okay, well, that's not what you picked in the end.
No, that's because I decided.
You almost picked Mercer to be Duke.
It's the same thing with It's also the same. Oh, by the way, I wasn't gonna. It's the same thing with Spain. I wasn't gonna pick Spain to go through, and Jake can vouch for me with that one. And then I decided to change it. Look,
right, well, same thing.
I think Germany. Jake, I think Germany's the best team. I think Germany's the best team by a good margin. And I think
Germany was the best team, but they're not healthy enough right now.
Healthy? What? How are they not healthy? Kadira's fine.
No, coming in, you were worried about injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just make my point about
Kadira.
Can I make my point about Germany?
Yeah.
They won 4-0. That's a convincing scoreline against Portugal. Well, let me remind you that 2 of those goals came against Portugal with 1 less man, and without Pepe. So no Pepe, and a subbed out Contrao, and a not.
Let me also remind you that this is the.
To get anything away from that win, but you know what? I think a lot of people are going to overvalue it when they look.
No, let's also remember this. Germany is a more experienced, the exact same team that they were at last World Cup, except more experienced and more talented. They're playing in a relatively easy side. They will be well rested. They have played better. They have a better system. They're more tactically sound. They are more.
Playing even side. They're in the group of death.
No, they're not. Group D is definitely the group of death. Group G is in no way the group of death. The Group D. Also, me and Carl did a statistical thing on this. The overall, if you had an ELO, ESPN, Goldman Sachs, SPI, and FIFA, and average them all out, Group G is actually the 3rd most difficult group. Unfortunately, it's not the group. It's when Costa Rica is playing well too. Group D is by far. You have 4 solid teams, and you have Italy, Uruguay.
Yeah, England's been really solid.
Oh, you mean how they actually played very well, and actually everybody was against Italy? Literally, there's a headline: England delivered everything. England delivered everything but the win.
England was faster than Italy, and yet Italy won.
No, it wasn't because of that. Are you kidding me, Jake? That's naive to say it's because they were faster. Italy was with them most of the time. It's Raheem Sterling was phenomenal.
England is faster. I'm saying England is faster.
No, I know, but it's naive to say that's the reason they played better. They were tactically played well. They were set up well. Raheem Sterling played great. They were able to carve out good opportunities. And they were able to do the same thing against Uruguay. They just didn't convert. Rooney missed a header that was literally off the corner of the goal. That game was even. England has been good. I know, I am, but you just gave absolutely. You said, because England has been so good. You gave England absolutely no credit. Italy gets credit too.
Oh, but you gave Italy so much credit.
No, I didn't give it. What am I supposed to respond to you? Am I supposed to respond to you, Jake? Italy is great. Italy is amazing. That's how I'm going to count.
Just old. You said Italy is old and tired. That's all I've seen from them.
That's all I have seen from them. They've tactically played well, but this is what I saw. England, they saw exactly what you... Listen. England, they were exactly how you described them. Then against Costa Rica, that's when they got tired. They've been in the heat for a couple of weeks now, and Prandelli came out and said it. I'm worried about our fitness because they don't look good. They don't look ready. They do not look.
Oh, you've seen from that. In the first game, you saw a difference.
I saw it different, but what matters is as time progresses, will they? It's Group D, except for the U.S., because it's the U.S.'s group. For all we know, last year's group was the group of death, too. Just kidding. That was Ivory Coast, Portugal, Brazil, and North Korea.
I thought it was... Okay, I'm saying it was branded as a group of death.
It was branded.
It was branded as a group of death.
Branded.
That's what it was.
The Heat were branded the best team going into the season. Unfortunately, not.
If we're coming into the tournament, what was the real group of death? If you asked me, I probably would have told you it was Group B.
Group B? I would have said the same.
B,
statistically, though...
Followed by G, followed by D.
Statistically, No, I would have said Group B followed by D, followed by G. Statistically, apparently, Group D. Everybody thought... Apparently, everybody thought it was Group... I think Group D. Not Group E. Group D. D. How is Group D not the group of death? They have, unlike Group B, which... Actually, Group B has been, I think at this point it's been Group D, B, G, because at least Group B has had a team like Australia who played very well against two high-quality opponents. We still have to see how the rest of Group G goes before I think we can really start qualifying it, because both of the other two groups have had 2 games, so I think it's a little unfair, though, at this point to really say, just to be fair to everybody. But I've said from the beginning that Germany...
The fact of what works with the debate, Germany's not playing against an easy side.
Yeah, no,
it's still a difficult group.
I think that, but look, from their point of view, it's theoretically a difficult group, but they've beaten who people thought were the second best team by a good margin. Now they have the U.S., who, even though they have Klinsmann, they'll have the U.S. in their last game. They'll be able to beat Ghana. They should be able to beat them handily. They're a much better team, much more talented, and they already proved it last World Cup. They're better than Ghana, and Ghana's gotten worse, and I think they've lost some of the talent. Michael Essien now comes off the bench. That was Ghana's World Cup was supposed to be last World Cup, and then it almost became it again. They lost Michael Essien, and everybody wrote them off, and then they came back, and almost did it with Asamoah. The home field. I know that's a lot of pressure, but it also gives you a boost. It can be pressure, but it can also be the boost. And I think Germany will be able to make it through to the World Cup final to face off against Argentina. And in the end, I think that Brazil will come out on top. And once again, I still think Germany is the best team.
All I'm saying here is, after what we've seen this tournament, I'm not ready to say that Germany is going to have cakewalk after we've watched them play one game.
But it's Germany, though. It's not like we're saying this about like a team that hasn't proven it multiple times and it hasn't won a World Cup. Germany has proven over and over again that they're one of the best teams in the world and in history. They're the second best European team of all time. Behind Italy, of course.
We shall see what happens.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I think to say it's like I'll try to rephrase this. It's not a cakewalk, but I don't think it will be difficult. I think it will be unless they get injured, somebody gets a red card, something foolish like that. I think that they should be able to make it through pretty handily. But I think Brazil will win it all. And, the best team in the tournament doesn't necessarily win. It's the team that plays the best in the one game. It's because this isn't a 7-game series. It's not a 7-game series. The team that plays the best on that one day can go through and win. And I think that's the most important thing that people have to remember. All you have to do is play good on one day, and your tournament can change completely. I think Costa Rica embodies that. They played good. All they did is they played good for 180 minutes. They played poorly in their friendlies coming up to the end, but that didn't matter because when it came down to it, they played well in the 180 minutes that mattered, that counted, and
Mexico too.
and they won. And they won. Let's put this out there: the CONCACAF has done exceptionally well. I think a lot better than people expected. So we both have Brazil over Argentina, and I think we've come to the end. Look, there's a lot to go. Obviously, Jake is hoping the USA wins it all, even though it's unlikely. But that's the beautiful thing about the World Cup, that you always can have hope. France, I think many people think of them now as a powerhouse team, but when they won in '98, they had never won a World Cup until that point. They really weren't a powerhouse team. So you know what? You never know. Upsets happen, and I think it's so beautiful that countries like Costa Rica now can believe. They can believe that they can win it all, that they can win the World Cup, or they can go far. They can be proud of what they've done. By the way, Costa Rica and Colombia are feeling the same thing right now. They also, the last time they went through was 1990. So I'm sure they had a great celebration as well, especially when everybody wrote them off. Jake picked them to beat Uruguay. Credit him for that. I thought they would die, but Jake picked them to win. So credit him for that. That is exceptional.
Thank you. Although I did not see this coming, I'm not going to take credit for. I thought there was no way they were beating Italy.
Yeah, same with me.
We'll see.
I picked them to tie with them, coming after how they played against Uruguay, not before, of course, but that was quite surprising. So, Jake, any last words before we wrap it up?
Look, I know it's not soccer related, but I would like to give a big shout out to Clayton Kershaw. My luck. The hotel here has Time Warner Cable. This was the only Dodger game I've been able to watch all season, and my favorite player stuck with him since day one. I was there for his first start, told my dad he'd be a Hall of Famer, and we got to see him throw a no-hitter, a magnificent performance. Congrats to him. Congrats to my brother. He's been bar mitzvahed, so yeah. Yay, Jews. Yay, being a man, I guess. So congrats to him. And, yeah, hope you all are having a good summer, and hope you guys are enjoying
Whatever fan or whatever team you are rooting for, whatever team ends up winning, even if it's a team that I think people dislike, everybody in the end kind of embraces the champion, and we want every team to do well, I guess, here, unless they're playing Colombia or the USA, which in that case, not really rooting for you. But to everybody out there, we hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back probably.
Do we really want you to do that?
Do we really want... Look, do we really want Germany to do well? Really? Oh my god. What a horrible way to end the show, Jake. Do we really want Germany to do...
one member of Boko Haram basically blew himself up and killed many in the process. And so there are a lot of people risk their lives just to watch this game. We hope that wherever you are, you stay safe. We can make this world a safer place, whether it is through sport, whether it's through diplomacy, or whether it is through military might. We hope that this world is going to be better for all of us. And I think that a World Cup is a nice way to bring us all together. So especially those in Nigeria, I hope you stay safe out there.
Yeah. Also, of course, condolences. You know what? Even though his father apparently didn't die before the game, we can still say condolences to Sarah Die because, you know, always when you find out that somebody lost a family member at some point, it's always good to, you know, share your condolences. And also, of course, for Yaya and Kolo Toure, whose brother died on Saturday. I mean, not on Saturday, on Thursday, the day that Ivory Coast played Colombia. Ibrahim Toure. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Toure family because it's never good, of course. And even though I was celebrating a victory for Colombia, it's difficult when you hear saddening news like this. But on a brighter note, we're not even halfway through the World Cup. We still have the knockout stages. We still have another couple of games in the second games of the group stages, and then we have, of course, the last games of the group stages. We have a lot to go. We have a lot to go. So, hopefully the rest of the World Cup was well. Hopefully we don't have saddening events. Hopefully it's good news in the future. So, for Jake Liker, I am Noah Taborda. Thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your... Oh my god, I forgot the day. What day is it, Jake?
It is Friday. Hopefully you're having fun kicking it in the front seat or the backing seat. As important as that, you kicked it us with Jake and Noah. Kicking it. Jake, Noah, we hope you'll enjoy you next time. From Noah Taborda, I'm Jake Liker. Signing off.
Go Colombia.
Essa bola vai rolar, mundo é um tapete verde. Quando a bola chega lá, coração fica na rede, na rede, na rede. Olá!